Okay, so on this page we have some multiplication, which means we're going to be doing some distribution. Just as we always do when we are distributing, we're going to multiply the term that is outside the parentheses, by each term on the inside. We're going to treat subtracted terms as adding a negative. And when multiplying the powers or the exponents with the same base, so the same variable, we are going to add the exponents. When you multiply terms together that have the same variable, you're going to add their exponents together. So for example, when we are distributing 3x to each of these terms, we're going to multiply 3 times each of these numbers, and then for the x's, we're going to add the exponents for each x. So starting with 3x times 2x squared, 3 times 2 is 6, and then the x times x squared would give me x to the power of 3. Then 3x times negative 5x, 3 times negative 5 is negative 15, and x times x would give me x squared. And then 3x times 3, 3 times 3 is 9, and we have the x from this term as well. So I have 6x cubed minus 15x squared plus 9x. For the next one, we have negative 4x squared, and we're going to be distributing that to 3x squared plus x minus 2. So negative 4 times 3 is negative 12, and then x squared times x squared would be x to the 4th. Negative 4x squared times x, negative 4 times 1 would be negative 4. X squared times x would be x cubed. And then finally, negative 4x squared times negative 2. Negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8. And then we have x squared. So that gives me negative 12x to the 4th minus 4x cubed plus 8x squared. For the next one, we have 6xy cubed times 2x squared y, and then times xy. 6 times 2 is 12. X times x is x cubed, and y cubed times y is y to the 4th. And then 6xy cubed times xy. 6 times 1 is 6. X times x is x squared. Y cubed times y is y to the 4th. Then we have negative 1/2 m squared n cubed times 10m to the 4th, negative 8mn, and negative 2, n squared. Negative 1/2 times 10 would be negative 5. M squared times m to the 4th is m to the 6th. N cubed is also on this term, so we need that on this term as well. Let me do it better, 3. Okay. Then for the next one, negative 1/2 times negative 8 would be a positive 4. M squared times m would be m cubed. N cubed times n would be n to the 4th. And then negative 1/2 times negative 2 would be a positive 1. So you can just put plus m squared times, we don't have another m to multiply it towards, so this is going to stay m squared. And then n cubed times n squared is n to the power of 5. So putting together what we've done for the last couple is we're going to be doing some multiplication and then combining like terms. So first we're going to distribute the terms that are in front. The x to the 2x and minus 5, that would give me 2x squared minus 5x. And then I'm going to distribute this 4 to the x squared plus 4x, which would give me plus 4x squared, and then also another, or sorry, plus 16x. So then we have 2x squared plus 4x squared, which we can combine to make 6x squared, and then negative 5x plus 16x would give me plus 11x. And so here is my final answer, where I've distributed and then combined like terms, 6x squared plus 11x. Same thing over here. X times x would be x squared. X times 1 would be x. 4 times x would be plus 4x. And 4 times 1 would be plus 4. So if we combine our like terms, x plus 4x, that would give me 5x. I'll bring down the x squared and the plus 4. So I get x squared plus 5x plus 4. So hopefully that should help you to fill in the rest.